Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about how you can actually make a lot of money in the stock market that I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to right now. No, this is not a catfish video, but this is just real information, real concrete information that can help you succeed within the stock market. Now, this isn't the most popular conversation, but it's very real, and you can actually capitalize off this right now, especially with the way the stock market has been. It's been up, it's been down. There's really not a real concrete trend with the stock market right now. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to be very predictable about, what's going to go up and keep going up or what's going to go down. But hey guys, real quick, if you're new to this channel, feel free to stick around, like and subscribe. I like to talk about money, I like to talk about investing, I like to talk about how you can succeed, whether you have money, or maybe you don't have a lot of money. You can still have success. Yes, so the stock market has been going crazy. Now, when the stock market was just going up and up and up and up and up, it's pretty easy to predict what to do, right? But then what happens if the stock market is going down and down and down and down? You can pretty much predict when it's in a downtrend, just like you can predict when it's in an uptrend, because everything's up and everything's down. That makes it, pretty simple to be able to pick a stock. Now, this in particular is when people are, looking for trades, and most people are looking to get quick money. But here's one of the things where a lot of people may fail to realize and they may not be paying attention to, because right now, hype is what has everybody's attention. Now, there's nothing wrong with hype, but hype isn't the only way that you can make money. Yes, with hype, you can indeed make a lot of money. You can succeed. You can be able to grow your portfolio. You can be able to get in and get out real quick, etc., things like that. However, that's just not the only thing that's going on. And one of the things with hype is a lot of times people can get hurt only because they don't have enough money to put into something to make enough money for it to be super impactful. So a lot of times people, they're chasing hype, and normally when they're chasing hype, it's going up and it's going, and they're chasing, highs in a sense. Now, as I stated, yes, you can make money during that, but here's the other thing. Pay attention to what doesn't have any hype. Like, for example, at one point, there was all this hype around the SPAC stocks. There was all this hype around electric vehicle markets and all these other different companies that has now completely left. Now, the thing that a lot of people forget is that a lot of these companies, whether there's hype around them or not, they're still good companies, and that there's still a really bright future based off of where we're headed as a, society, or as humans, what we're headed to in our economy, the way things are changing. There's still a strong upside. So meanwhile, while everyone is just always chasing the hype, like I said, it's nothing wrong with being up on what's popular, but don't forget to pay attention to things that may have lost hype or that might not be as popular. Like I did a video that said, I think it was like 7 or 10 stocks, something like that, to not sleep on. One of the reasons is because when you see companies running high, everybody's running to it, but when people are leaving because they're no longer the topic of conversation, they tend to forget about it. But here's the thing. If you invest money into companies like that are good, but their stock prices just came down a lot, there's no hype around it, eventually what happens, especially if that stock has a legitimate space in our future, it has a legitimate space in where we're going and where we're headed and what's going to happen. If you invest money into it now, that money could mean a lot more money. It could mean 10x, 100x, or whatever in the future when all of a sudden it becomes very popular again, right? For example, let's use Tesla for an example, where at one point Tesla was not a stock that people cared about, paid attention to, or anything. But everybody started to pay attention to it at, kind of around the same time. So it's become a very popular stock. But before, the company's trajectory was always what it was. But it wasn't something that people talked about because people didn't believe about it, didn't believe in it. People didn't know what was going on with it. So they didn't really put money into it. They didn't pay a lot of attention to it. And we're going years back. Well, for those that have, and that they did invest during that time, they've been able to get some really strong wins, even to the tune of things like what's very popular to talk about right now, like Dogecoin, for example. Well, a lot of people are hype on Dogecoin now, but then there's a lot of people who are investing in Dogecoin back in 2018 and beyond that have seen significant wins just because of their timing. Because see, at that time, Dogecoin wasn't popular, nobody cared about it, it's a joke. And some people said, well, even if it's a joke, maybe, I just put some money in and we'll see what happens. Well, those people have won the most out of this whole entire thing. Yes, even within the hype, like I'm talking about, you had people who actually could put money in, like in the last 3-4 months or in the last month or two, and still make a significant amount of money. So yes, you can win like that, but you can also win a lot of times by paying attention to things that may not have any hype over it, but it actually has some type of real potential. It's just like GameStop, the whole thing with Roaring Kitty and all those things. He was invested in GameStop before anybody was even really talking about it. And so that's why he had some of the craziest wins, because he was paying attention to that when it wasn't popular. And do I think GameStop is a long, sustainable company? I really don't know. It depends on what they do, but I'm just using an example. So here's what I'm saying. In the arena where you have so many different stocks that have real serious potential, but have come way down from their highs, this is where your money also becomes very powerful. So if you're being consistent and investing in those companies, and you're not pulling your money away because it doesn't have any more hype around it, and you're now just snatching your money out and going to wherever it's hype at, you're going to lose a lot of money, or you're not really going to really be able to benefit from all the wealth that you could potentially benefit from, especially if you have a budget and you don't have a lot of money. The goal is to be consistent around good, strong companies. Because see, what we may see sometimes in the mainstream and when everybody's talking about, there's several of us that can tell you, like, we get all these private messages where people, their budgets have been blown to smithereens because, I just said smithereens. But their budgets have been blown up because they were so busy chasing all of the stocks that were being picked and things like that. And now we've entered into this market where the stock market is kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. And nobody can, really say, hey, well, yeah, just get in. It's because you don't know in a situation like that. And so that takes a lot of steam and a lot of hype away from, certain companies. And so you had a lot of people that were chasing just about every hot stock pick, but they don't have a lot of money. And what happens is they end up finding themselves in a place where they just ran out of money, but the amount of money they could have made has been dwindled down because they've spread themselves too thin. Like, you're talking about people that have like 40 or 50 different stocks, and they'll have like one share of 40 or 50 different stocks. Now, if it's in a portfolio and you're building in something like that, like something like an M1 Finance, that's cool. But if you're trying to like really make some money, then that's not necessarily the concept. So what you want to be able to do is be able to find some things that you can be consistent over and invest long term. And we're talking about as far as long-term strategy, and we're talking about in particular people who don't just have a whole lot of money to blow. But even people who do have a whole lot of money to blow, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to chase every single thing that you hear come across your screen or see come across your screen, or every single, stock pick that's out there that the hottest YouTubers are talking about and things like that. You don't have to chase everything. One of the things that you should also be doing, as well as you're looking through short term, you should or just like some quick run-ups and what's hot and things like that, you should also be looking for some things long term that you can put your money in safely, and that will get you a consistent gain whether the market is up or down. And just looking for those companies are fine. They're still good to invest in. And I know with the way things have been around different stocks and stuff like that, it almost makes it seem like, the conservative, strong dividend companies aren't companies you should be investing in, when, they are some you should be investing in, especially long term. And if you want to be able to get good returns and great returns on your money, and not constantly have to watch the clock, every single day, Monday through Monday. So in your chasing what's hype and what's popular, make sure that you pay attention to what doesn't have any hype, because that means you can buy it cheaper prices. It's not totally inflated. You don't have a lot of people running to it, which is running the price up, but you can buy it significantly. And there's several companies, especially even some of these SPAC companies, that have came down so low to the point it is just almost ridiculous not to be able to put some money in them. Especially, I'm just speaking from my own portfolio, from some of the stocks that I have. So one of the ways to really be able to gain wealth and get rich in the stock market is being able to invest in good, solid companies that may not have any hype around them at the moment. Because right now it's cheaper than what it will be if it's 5 years down the line and now everybody's talking about like, oh, this is the next best thing, this is the greatest company ever, and now it's more expensive. And you see it now and you like it now, but you don't invest into it because no one's talking about it. it's okay to be able to just stick to your guns or find some good investments and not necessarily chase everything that everyone is talking about. Like I said, yes, you can make money in the hype, and I'm just using as an example of the mass hysteria where everybody's talking about something. You can. However, that is not the sum total of, just investing. And so a lot of times people miss that opportunity and then they go on about their business. Even like we're just giving Dogecoin example. When the hype left it from the beginning of this year, a lot of people just sold out of it and put their money in something else. Now the hype's back, and several of them are kicking themselves because it's more expensive to buy, and they just missed a whole lot of gains. So what I'm saying is, don't forget about the stocks that have lost steam, or the great companies that are still there that have become extremely cheap to buy, or just are, a little less than what they were. Don't forget about those, because if you're investing consistently in those things, then what happens is, especially if they have a legitimate future and they have a real business that's going to be around and is going to impact our economy and our lives, whether subtle or big, then what you're going to see is you're going to see your money grow significantly from that over the next 2 to 5 or even 10 years. Because always remember, guys, it's not about you being emotional. It's about you being able to build wealth for your families. So having a lot of emotions are not good when it's mixed with money. It doesn't work well. But anyways, guys, tell me what you're looking at, what's in your scope, what type of stocks you're consistently investing in, or what type of companies you have your eye on. All right, guys, so I'll see you around on the next video. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed, stay safe out there, and happy investing. Let's go.